I want you to listen very carefully today. No matter what happens regarding the tariffs, no matter what President Trump does, no matter his genius, no matter his plan, no matter the implementation, no matter the success, no matter what he does, I'm telling you right now, it is going to be a complete and total failure from the point of view of the radical left. They don't care about the truth. I'm telling you now, listen to me carefully. Whatever he does, whatever he says, whatever he thinks, whatever the reality is, if it's the greatest boon, the greatest success ever in American political processes, he will be given no credit whatsoever. Nothing will work. Nothing will apply. Nothing will be, there will be no credit given to him. It will be called a disaster. Do you hear what I'm saying? So just remember this. Nobody is going to give him any credit. Nobody is going to give him credit. Number two, no one understands this. Everybody is an expert in our country. They're an expert in the Constitution, education, law, diet, nutrition, seed oils, physics, religion, history, everything. Everybody is an expert regarding everything. You are then going to understand there are people like Bill Ackman and others who love being the pundit, or what I'm hearing more of, pundits. I'm hearing this, pundit. It's pundit. And these pundits love to make their mark, to make their bones in the Twitter X verse. They love it. They love it. Who can say something that provides them the platform? Bill Ackman, a brilliant person, a successful person, an absolute genius when it comes to all of those matters of financial and the like, are, for reasons I can't explain, in love more than anything else with Bill Ackman. He loves Bill Ackman. And one could argue that's the way he got to be Bill Ackman, hedge funder. That's how Trump, you don't do this without having these delusions of grandiosity. Okay, fine. But understand this. Remember his comments regarding Israel, October the 7th, and the various college campuses where the president of Harvard was dismissed. Remember that? Remember Jim Cramer fighting desperately for some kind of relevance. He is not a prognosticator. He's a TV performer, and he sells the products on his shows. So just understand the source of this. I'm telling you, we're going to go through this. I'm going to give you more. You're going to get a history and an economic lesson today, the likes of which you're not going to believe. You will have a better understanding. And moreover, you'll be able to explain to people, friends of yours, you'll be able to give them questions as to things they should be asking and perspectives and vantage points they should be considering. So sit back, get ready. Make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. This is very critical. Make sure you like this video. And before we get started, speaking of financial concerns and debt and money woes, listen to this. Are you drowning in debt, struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like you break free from overwhelming financial burdens. For anyone owing over $10,000, National Debt Relief may be able to reduce that debt by up to half or even more. No bankruptcy, no new loans, just a smarter, faster way to financial freedom. Here's how it works. Step 1, you submit the form at No Debt with Lionel. Just go there right now. Step 2, a representative will call within minutes to discuss personalized options. In step 3, they'll create an affordable plan tailored to your individual budget and timeline. Many clients become debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months, paying less than they owe and avoiding years of stress and interest. And the consultation is completely free with no obligation. So what are you waiting for? Why keep dodging calls and watching interest stack up? So go right now to nodebtwithlionel.com. That's nodebtwithlionel.com. This could be the turning point, the step toward peace of mind, control, and a fresh start. nodebtwithlionel.com. Go now. I try to explain this again, and this is critical. This is the most important thing because nobody's going to tell you this. Nobody's going to tell you what to make out of this. Nobody. Let me see if we can explain this. Let's see if we can put this into perspective, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And I'm not going to give you something which is pro-Trump. I've told you before, I am to use the Mearsheimer case, I am a realist. And what I mean by that is, I tell you what is real. The reality, I'm not here trying to always elevate, if you will, the Trump position because I'm a sycophantic person. I'm not a Maria Bartiromo. I'm not one of these people. You know that if I tell you I like something Trump did, it's for a reason. When I don't have a reason, I'll tell you. When the reason that I have is not what you think, I will tell you. I told most people, I told many, many friends of mine, I said, listen, you got to understand something. The reason you have to like, if you will, President Trump is because there is no other choice. I mean, we can talk about this all day long. There is no other choice. If you want to go march, go and march. Look how the effect of the hands-off thing was. We already been through that. There's nothing to it. Nothing happened. Okay, so buckle up, my dear friends. Let's look into this, all right, into President Trump's tariff plans and look at it for what it is. What we know, what we don't know, what does it mean? Is this the end of the world? Let me repeat. Listen to what I'm saying and listen very carefully. This is the most important thing in the world I can tell you. No matter what he does, nobody will like it. Nobody. The radical left will not like anything that he's doing. Okay. Why are the so-called experts? Why are they all kind of losing their minds? And why do they say President Trump's approach is stupidity versus a masterstroke of economic strategy rooted in risk-taking brilliance, not reckless gambling? See, that's a thing too, which is a very interesting. We take a lot of risks. Gambling is a very strange thing. Gambling is not what we really want to do. Now we're going to, I don't want to say unpack, but we're going to unpack this aspect step by step, pulling from Trump's words and others, what he has said, what others have said, interviews and statements, and try to piece this together ultimately, because this is what you have to know. We're going to weave in some history like Bretton Woods and the neoliberal, sometimes mess of Reagan. Reagan is kind of like a Rorschach test. If you like Reagan, what he did was brilliant. If you don't, many say that Reagan got tangled up in this nonsense of deregulation and whatever and supply side. Okay, fine. But I hope that we can shine a light on the blowhards in the financial opinion business. Remember, opinion. The bottom line is simply this. If Bill Ackman in particular, and I don't know him, I'm sure he's a fine man. He's very smart, very rich, very successful. But if he were to give you the real example, if he were to say, well, I don't know, it's hard to see. Believe it or not, Warren Buffett has some great advice sometimes, but it seems like kind of grandfatherly and slow because it really is. He said one time that markets are funny. He says the first part of the market is like a political scale, so to speak. The first parts deal with politics. It's run by politics. It's affected by politics. But the longer run of the economy is more of a weight, of true weight, the gravity of the administration, the future of the country. Long term is more overall. But this is all politics. And remember, I'm warning you right now. I'm going to be telling you this. There are people who hate President Trump and will not give him any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. So if you look at Bill Ackman, he gave this incredibly nasty thing against. He went after Lutnick, and then he apologized. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Lutnick is a short. He's into bonds, and Cantor Fitzgerald, and okay, whatever. Bill Ackman wants to we should have a 9 month. We should have this. We should have a cooling off period. We should do okay, fine. And then sure enough, it makes X. Next thing you know, it helps him, and he's on TV more. And listen, when you're a billionaire, some people just love this idea. It's a very, very funny thing. People like Carl Icahn and others, you didn't really see him that much every now and then. But Bill Ackman is different. So he and others, and he's not going to, let's face it, if he goes on and gives really this kind of a things look great kind of a scenario, they're not going to want him back. Who wants him back? So there are some other people that you got to listen to, Scott Bessent and Moran. And Moran, who are the folks. Moran, these are the, how do I say this? These are the folks, the political, Moran is good too. He is the, Stephen Moran. He is the chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. Okay, so right now looking at this, go to Drudge, now watch this, go to Drudge and take this snapshot. Utter and total chaos. As the Musk turns, Elon breaks on tariffs, feud goes public, staff fights. Marjorie Taylor Greene moves hundreds of thousands to T-bills. Okay. Rand Paul leads charge against tariffs. Americans sitting on a cash pile as stocks reel. Okay. Besant, don't worry, be happy. Dow futures fall another 800 live. This is going, oh my God, this is the end of it, right? This is what they're doing. Dow futures fall 1,000 points. S&P, it's the worst thing since 1987. This is what they're saying. Is it true? Is it true? We don't know if it's true or not. Don't really know. There's this JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon says Trump tariffs will boost inflation. Everybody, Peter Navarro said, oh my God, this is terrible. But I was listening this morning to all these folks. Then there are these folks who say things like, the man who predicted, a man who never got anything right. But you remember the fellow who, when Trump ran for office, I don't know who he was. He said, this man has never been wrong yet. This man has, and he was wrong. I'm sorry. This man is, this is where we are. So let me ask you something. You listening to them? Okay. I'm going to give you an analogy, and then I want you to think about this. When you go to a doctor and somebody says, listen, we found a spot. Did a biopsy. It's stage 1. It's nothing. I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's cancer, but it's not stage 4. It's not metastatic. It's still very, very. We're going to keep an eye on this. Doctor, can this turn bad? I can't tell you. Or doctor, has anybody survived this? All the time. Really? It's like when people get, for example, breast cancer, they never say, do you know how many people have breast cancer like you have and live to be forever? They never tell you that. So the question is, what kind of a reality do you want? I'm going to give you the good story, the bad story, the good news, the bad news. What do you want me to tell you? All that's true. What focus do you like? What reality do you want? And I'll give it to you. And it'll be true. Because what President Trump is doing for the first time is he says, I'm not trying to be Thomas Sowell. I'm not trying to be some wonky Wharton School of London economics. I'm doing two things. I'm doing economy or economics. I'm doing the economy. And I'm also doing something where I am showing the rest of the world and our enemies that we mean business. Do you hear what I'm saying? We mean business. So you may say to yourself, well, this is a problem. This is going to be a trade war. And historically, I say, excuse me. I want to show China. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I want to tell you a story, and then we'll get to these specifics. And we're going to take some time today. So I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. I don't care what the truth is. I care what people think the truth is. It doesn't matter what I think the truth is. It doesn't matter. It's what everybody else does. Years ago, when I told you this story, we were in Israel. And we met with I guess it'd be like their State Department. And there was this great guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but he had a great name. I love his name. And he said, what do you think about somehow 9/11? And I said, that was the most ridiculous thing in the world because Al-Qaeda never did anything. And I think President Bush overreacted and blah, blah, blah. He goes, that's interesting. He says, do you know what we thought here? Do you know what we thought here? I said, yeah, I'd like to hear it. He goes, well, we thought, and when I mean we, meant the Middle East, and this because it's made something very interesting. He says, we may have different names and we speak different languages, but we're all basically the same. We have the same language. Shalom, salam, we eat the same food. We've been here. It's a mindset. Syrian, Lebanese, Israeli, a lot of people are Eastern European, American, but you're in this ecosystem, this biosphere called the Middle East. And let me tell you what they think. They think, after Trump did this, he goes, now that's the United States we know. Now you may say to yourself, that's the most ridiculous thing in the world because 9/11, and I still believe this. He said, but what they thought here was, damn, these Americans, don't mess with them. And Trump is sending a very simple message. Don't mess with us. I'm saying mess. There's another word there. Don't. Then you may say to yourself, that's rather simplistic. No, it's not. No, it's not. People in the business, people in whatever it is, whether you're an athlete, whether you're in entertainment, if you are the star, you can deal with anybody you want. You can go, for example, you can ask the team to pay you the most because you're whoever you are. Okay. Why? Only because you're that good. Nobody, if somebody else was half-assed, ask the same money you have, they'll laugh at you because it depends on who you are. And number two, when you're within this, let's say you fight, and you become LeBron James, but you're on the Knicks or whatever it is, or the Knicks, the Lakers. Okay. Now you're dealing with other people, equally bigger millionaires. And all of a sudden you think, wait a minute, I'm not the big shot anymore. No, you may be who you think you are, but on this team, you're not. And now we got to deal with other people. So when you're dealing with China, because this is about China, it's not about Russia. It's not about really Europe to an extent. Europe is so dead. This, believe it or not, this is going to push Europe. Europe is just collapsing. But somebody's going to go to Xi Jinping. Who is he? This is a guy who actually went along with, or did not see it as being problematic, when his father, I believe his father, was imprisoned by Mao. Because this guy is such a hardcore commie. I mean, hardcore. He absolutely positively said, you don't understand. I'm not Brezhnev. There's going to be no perestroika, no glasnost with this guy. Trump understands this. He's as hardcore, whether it's the Uyghurs, Falun Gong. This is serious. They take people who, remember the time they gave the death sentence to somebody over tainted milk? I don't know how to tell you this. What do you think is going to get his attention? When Trump says, I'm going to do something, so one thing about, you got to understand, Putin, when Putin says, I'm going to do something, he does it. You might not agree with it, but he does it. I worked with a guy one time years ago. He was a media guy, radio guy too, as a matter of fact, who was so, you loved him because he didn't bullshit you. He said, I'm going to do this. And he was a great guy, but he was serious. That's what Trump's doing. Trump's saying, for 40 years, I've been talking about tariffs. I don't know where you've been. You think I'm kidding? I'm serious. So when I say something next time, people are going to say, he's serious. And did you think I was going to pass tariffs and then everybody was going to throw money at me? No. Do you think I'm going to get a good reception from the media? No. You think I'm going to have? No. I'm going to have every two-bit jerk off yelling and screaming. But he's got Bessent and he's got Miran, M-I-R-A-N, who they understand why tariffs aren't just sensible, but they're downright necessary. Now remember, we'll see what happens. It's like anything else. Sometimes doctors will prescribe certain courses of medication, certain courses of treatment, and sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. So first off, let's set the stage, okay? Donald Trump isn't some rookie fumbling around with economic policy. This is a guy who built, whether you like it or not, an economic empire, taking calculated risks, never reckless, always with an eye on the prize. And in his interviews before, he said plain as day, I'm not going to let these companies leave our country, fire all our workers, and then sell their products back to us with no consequence. This is the thing which is his biggest motivator, probably more than anything else. He wants to, and listen carefully, he wants to reindustrialize. If you listen to the folks, are you listening to me? Well, listen. Pay attention. For the people who are listening to me, what the threat is that we face in a post, I don't want to say postmodern. I hate that term because nobody really knows what it means. But in this kind of a post anti-industrial world that we live in, where people like Klaus Schwab and others wanted to make America weak, destroy our dollar, destroy our buying power. He wants to be the manufacturing center of the world. Take anything you have. Look at anything you have right now on your desk, in your home. Find something that was made in this country. Find something that's made in this country. Anybody? Find something that is made in this country. Do you have anything yet? I'll tell you one thing, by the way. MyPillow, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's made here. Absolutely. You think think Mike Lindell could do better? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But this is made here. Everything else, by the way, support them. Support them. They're the best. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that that's a good idea? Making the United States the manufacturing center of the world? Wouldn't you love that? There's nothing sadder to me than a factory that's closed, that's empty, like these. Sometimes if you drive through parts of Jersey City or especially places that used to be industrial, this is what the president wants to bring back. Anybody got a problem with that? I don't. Anybody? Nope. Absolutely not. In the 50s, we were it. He said it is the heartbeat of his tariff plan. It's the thing. It's the reason he wants it. And he's not here, my friends. He's not here to play games with you. He is not here to play games. He is here to tell you exactly the truth. He is here to tell you specifically what it is that you need and I need and everybody needs. It's very, very simple. It's just very, 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 very simple. This is what this is about. Okay? Now, let me tell you something, and let me repeat you or tell you what's so critical. You can joke about this all you want. You can joke about this all you want. You can laugh all you want. You can pretend it. But I'm telling you the God's honest truth, ladies and gentlemen. This is his focus. He's not here to play nice with globalists. He's not. Globalists who have spent decades hollowing out American industry. He's here to bring it back. And tariffs are his tool. And the critics scream, trade war, like it's the end of the world. They keep saying this trade war. But Trump knows something. He knows something they don't. The U.S. has the leverage, the market power, and the guts to rewrite the rules. Now let's rewind a bit, okay? Let's rewind a bit to understand why we're even in this mess. Post-World War II, the Bretton Woods system tied currencies to the gold standard. And it was a smart move. It was stable, kept everyone honest. But in 1971, Nixon ditched it. And the dollar went fiat. Okay, great for flexibility, sure, but it opened the door to decades of financial wizardry and chicanery, outsourcing and the like. Fast forward to Ronald Reagan, the poster boy for neoliberalism and the like, deregulation, free trade, let the market sort it out. Yeah. It sounds great on paper, right? But except in many people's opinions, it gutted American manufacturing. Companies chased cheap labor overseas. And the Rust Belt turned into a ghost town. You see how this thing works? There's this wonderful stuff that I can give you. I can provide it to you. I can give you over and over and over and over and over and over again. I can provide this to you, but I will say to you very simply this. The practical results have nothing to do, and this is important, the practical have nothing to do with the theoretical. So Trump understands this. He's not nostalgic for, gold per se, but he gets that the system's been rigged against the American worker ever since. So tariffs, what do they have to do with it? They're his way of unrigging it. So what's the plan? Trump's talking 10%, 20%, even 60% tariffs on imports. China's getting the big number because, as you know, and as he says, they've been taking advantage of us for years. And he's not wrong. China's been flooding our market with cheap goods. Look, like I said, go and see who is asking, where is anything manufactured here in this country? Go look at your clothes, go in your closet, look anywhere. What do we make? Cars? Not necessarily. China's been flooding our market with cheap goods, subsidized by their government, because they've only provided lower loans. They could have almost slave labor. This is a powerhouse. If you want to have anything made, you know it or not, this goes back to the days of Nike. Remember when it was a Phil Knight or whatever would put these things together, and they would say something to the effect of, we love to do this here, but I've got an issue with my shareholders. If I get this shoe made in the Philippines or in Guam, wherever the hell they do it, I can get it made, this shoe, high quality, for 10% of what I would be charged here. And there's a reason for that too, because of course, labor and unions and other things. So a lot of times people would say, look, I'd love to stay here, but if I make this shoe here in this country, I'm going to have to pass that cost off, and I'm going to price myself out of it. So while we slap a measly 2% on them and call it fair, it's no big deal. Meanwhile, they've hit us with 100% tariffs on some of our stuff. Trump has said, look, enough of that nonsense. He's leveling the playing field. And here's the kicker. He's not just slapping tariffs willy-nilly. He's targeting strategic, specific sectors. Think steel, tech, autos, to force these companies, listen, to force these companies to rethink offshoring. Bring the jobs back. Build the factories here or pay the price. Who's got a problem with that? The reason why they don't like this is because that would mean Trump would win. See, they hate this country. They're the people who would rather sit back and pray that, like they're in a plane and they hate the pilot so much, they're praying the plane crashes. It's called economic patriotism, pure and simple. And it doesn't mean it's going to be without a problem. But we're thinking the long run. Who's going to take us seriously? People are saying, there's no way. Trump's going to cave. He's going to cave. He's not going to cave. Now, the financial opinion crowd, the Ackmans and others and the Kramers, those talking heads on CNBC and all over X, they're having a meltdown. Histrionics, paroxysms of out of their mind. Inflation, they cry. Inflation, consumer prices will soar. But let's call them what they are, blowhards. Take Bill Ackman, the big hedge fund hotshot, okay? Great guy. I'm sure he's a wonderful person. He came out of nowhere during the October the 7th college thing, anti-Semitism. Oh my God. He loved it. You're going to love this. He went after Lutnick, calling him out over some market spat, only to backpedal and apologize when the heat got too real. Why? Why? Because these guys love to pontificate. Like they've got it all figured out. They love being the pate, the poobah, the prelate, the genius. But when push comes to shove, they're just guessing like the rest of us. Trump's not guessing. He's got a track record of reading markets, real estate, branding, name it. And he has some of the best minds and the best people. He's not doing this without somebody saying, if his advisors told him, look, what you're saying is ridiculous. It may seem tough, but it's crazy. He'd say, I'm not going to do it. You think he's doing this on his own? You think he's going to say, I don't care. I don't care if the whole world's against? No. And he knows that tariffs aren't about punishing consumers. They're about reshaping the game. See, this is what people are missing. So let's break that down. Critics always say that tariffs jump up prices. They jack up prices, that's the result. Okay, yeah. In the short term, maybe your iPhone costs a bit more, a lot more, if Apple's forced to build it here. Okay? But Trump's betting on the long game. Companies don't just eat the tariff, they adapt. They move supply chains back to the U.S. They hire American workers. And suddenly, we're not bleeding jobs to Shanghai. See how that works? You see, in the various interviews the president has given, he doubled down. He said, look, I'll give them tax breaks if they stay. If they go, they'll pay. That's not reckless. That's a carrot and stick play straight out of the art of the deal. It makes sense. And the numbers back him up. Pre-COVID, his first-term tariffs on China didn't tank the economy. GDP grew. Unemployment hit record lows, and manufacturing started to creep back. Bessent comes in, Moran comes in, two economic minds who see the genius here. And Bessent, who's a hedge funder, he's a vet, and Trump's, of course, picked him for Treasury. He gets the tariffs are a bargaining chip. He said that Trump's approach forces countries to the table. China, Europe, whoever. They don't want to lose the U.S. market, so they'll cut deals. Think I'm kidding? Now, Moran, who's an economist, who's crunched the data, he argues that tariffs can boost domestic investment without sparking runaway inflation. These aren't pie-in-the-sky theorists. These aren't lunatics grounded in kind of fantasy. Unlike the neoliberal relic, still clinging to Ronald Reagan's playbook. There are people who look back at Ronald Reagan and bless her heart as being this halcyon answer for everything. Dickerson says Perot was right. Again, it'd be nice to specify as to what, but thank you for that. Cole says, bring back jobs and expect corporations to pay a living wage. Only illegals will work them manufacturing your tech. Representatives, Democrats are fools. This will not work. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it. Cole knows. Cole knows this. Cole knows. Cole says this will not work. So let's just keep doing everything as is and no problem. Capitulate to the rest of the world. Tell China and the rest of the planet, including Europe, okay, whatever. You got us. Why? Cole says it's not going to work. Only illegal. And by the way, speaking of Ronald Reagan, which is my favorite, let's contrast this a little bit. The free market gospel sounded great. It really does. Cut taxes, slash regulations, open the borders to trade. But it came with a cost. You see, by the 80s, Japan was eating our lunch in cars, electronics, and we just smiled and said, well, that's the market. Laissez-faire, okay, it's everywhere. Who's that? Trump's not smiling. He's saying, no more. No. Where Reagan trusted this invisible hand, the atoms, the invisible hand, Trump's grabbing the wheel. Oh, no. Neoliberalism assumed that everyone kind of plays fair, and Trump knows they don't. Dick Dickerson says, on NAFTA and the giant sucking sound. Okay, that's good. Yeah, he was true about that. That's true. Good. Yep. Sort of. Yeah. That's good. We're going to talk about John Maynard Keynes next, maybe, or maybe Lester Thoreau. Now, and thank you, by the way. Now, China manipulates its currency. You know that. Europe slaps VAT's value-added taxes on our goods, and we're supposed to just take it, right? Right? Cole, just take it, huh? Just so away it goes. Let's hope, pray they don't. Nah. Tariffs are his counterpunch. Now, why is everyone going nuts? Because Trump's shaking the snow globe, the global elite, the Wall Streeters and Davos and the IMF and all these other guys. They've spent decades building a system where capital flows free, labor's cheap, and America just foots the bill, right? That's what they want. Tariffs threaten that big time. And if the U.S. starts flexing its muscles, if they start getting playing tough, really playing tough, for the first time ever, other countries might follow. You see, protectionism spreads, profits shrink, and then suddenly their yacht money is at risk. They'll scream isolationism till they're blue in the face. But Trump's not isolating. He's negotiating from strength. And you've heard it. People have been clear about this. We have the best market in the world. They need us more than we need them. Remember that. And that's not bravado. That's not hubris. That's not brio. That's fact. And the U.S. consumer base is the golden goose everybody's chasing. So let's talk risk, okay? Because that's where Trump shines. He's a gambler, admit it, but he's not an addict, okay? He's not a fool. He's not a lunatic. Building skyscrapers, launching TV shows, running for president. Every move is a calculated risk. It's in his nature. And tariffs are no different. And he's not risking our future. He's not doing it just. It's one thing when you are risking your life versus somebody else's. He's not tossing the dice. He's not hoping for a win. He's not stacking the deck. He's not whatever your phrase is. He knows China's got big problems. Huge problem. Debt, demographics, a slowing economy. He knows this. Hit them with tariffs and they'll blink first. Same with Europe. Germany's car makers need our roads. They'll deal. Trump's not reckless. He's restless. It's a big difference. Always pushing the edge, but never jumping blind. Never making that ridiculous psycho leap. Compare that to the Fed or Congress, who stumble through crises like, I don't want to say drunk sailors, but they're always, let's see what happens. Trump's got vision. Did any of these people ever say anything through the 4 years of Biden? No. What was our plan? Incoherent. Here's where the economy and politics and foreign relations all blend together. And this is critical. And it's why the blowhards miss the point completely. Tariffs aren't just about dollars. They're about power, about leverage. They're about control. Economically, they rebuild our base. Yeah, that's true. But politically, they deliver on promises to, forgotten workers in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Why do you think he won those states twice? Why? Why do you think? What did he tell them? What did they want from him? What did he promise them? Foreign policy-wise, they signal we're done being the world's doormat. It's not all about war. It's about earning respect. China's military buildup, partly funded by our trade deficit. Think about that. Trump's tariffs starve that beast, so to speak. It's a 3-for-1 deal. And the talking heads can't see past their spreadsheets. Not only that, it's not good for your ratings to come forward and speak in any way or in any wise on behalf of the president. Nobody wants it. So Trump was asked about blowback one time, and he shrugged it off. He said, they'll get over it. They always do. That's confidence. That's fortitude born from experience. Look, he's faced bankruptcies, media storms, impeachment. And by the way, when people talk about bankruptcies, you know how many times Google's gone bankrupt? Remember Google Glass and others? Bankruptcy means reorganization. Yet here it is. Here he is, back in the Oval Office. The man knows how to weather a fight, and critics say tariffs will spark retaliation. Maybe. But Trump's ready. He's got Besson plotting tax incentives, Moran modeling outcomes, and a team that understands this thing called leverage. Retaliation is a risk, but losing our industrial soul, no. That's a certainty without action. So let's zoom out a little bit. The U.S. has been hemorrhaging manufacturing since the 70s. Any idea what we can do about that? What do? Pray? Hope things change? Is that it? Under neoliberalism, we traded steel mills for service jobs and factories for fast food and gig economy. Trump's tariffs say, not anymore. Nope. They're not perfect. Nothing is. But they're a bold swing at a broken system. And that's what these folks don't understand. The financial opinion crowd, these nattering talking heads folks, they're going to still whine. Bill Ackman's going to keep flip-flopping, and the establishment will keep clutching their pearls because he's just this. He's probably got his own PR person. How am I doing? Get me on this. Get me on CNBC. Jamie Dimon does that too. He said, "Oh, I like this. I'm a star." When was the last time you knew who the head of J.P. Morgan? Nobody knew this. Enter CNBC. That's a different story. Trump is not here for their approval. Remember, Trump is a lame duck. Trump is going to turn over MAGA. Trump is not doing this for any other reason because he thinks it's a sound idea. If he did nothing, they wouldn't stop complaining about him. They would complain less. He's here for America's comeback. And this is about tariffs. Tariffs making sense. I want you to think for 1 second. Think 1 second. I know what I've been saying. I've been throwing a lot at you. A lot. And when you talk about how tariffs are going to affect things, and already, look what they're going to do regarding food. If you think I'm exaggerating, if you think I'm just whistling Dixie, you're not paying attention to this. Let me ask you a question. What happens when the trucks stop? Think about this. Trucks, the trucks that bring your food, and then when one store closes because of a riot or ransomware hit or a hurricane or even manufactured weather. Oh yeah, we've talked about that. What happens when all of a suddenly the entire supply chain collapses like dominoes? What happens then? We've seen it happen, and it doesn't take much. And that's the thing you've got to think about. A trucker strike, a cyber attack, some EMP, some Carrington class disaster, a city shut down by violence. It only takes one spark for shelves to go empty fast. And when that happens, and when that moment hits, you either have what you need or you don't. And that's why I am telling you, I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. Our trusted friends at My Patriot Supply, they are offering unbelievable deals right now. You've got to see deals on emergency food kits that could save your life and your sanity. Over 2,000 calories per day for 3 months of food per person, shelf stable for 25 years in any kind of combinations you want, and made to taste like actual meals, not cardboard, not some military MRE. These kits aren't just insurance, they're peace of mind. So go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your kit, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because when the world breaks down, the prepared don't panic. You hear that? Prepared. Now, I know this is tough for people to understand. You know, especially tariffs. People have this kind of like, I think I know what it is. Look, tariffs make sense because they put us, and this is important, they put us first. America first. Our workers first. Our towns, our future first. And if the world's going nuts, good. Let them sweat. And what's interesting today was that everything is going crazy. Fine. If our markets fell only, that would be a serious problem. Trump's got this. So, my dear friends, that's the deal. That's the deal. Why Trump's tariff plans aren't just sensible, they're a lifeline. He's not rewriting history. He's not going back to Bretton Woods or Reagan's rosy days. No, he's forging something new. And it's a respect. And Besant and Moran know it. They see it. The Heartland sees it. And the blowhards can't stop it. Trump is a risk taker, not a reckless one. And that's why this works. Now, remember something, and I'm going to say this again to you. You are going to see nothing. Remember, if it bleeds, it leads. You're going to see nothing but disaster. Disaster. It's going to be the end of everything. It's going to be disaster. The word, you're going to see pictures, always these same pictures. You will see them of these stock photos of people on the floor of the stock market. Oh, this. And they got their jacket. Oh, my God. That's exactly what they're doing. That's the exact. Look at this. New York Post. Billionaire Bill Ackman warns the world is on the brink of self-induced economic nuclear winter. Begs Trump to pause tariffs. Front page. Front page. It's just U.S. stocks nosedive with S&P 500 entering bear territory as global tariff rout worsens. What do you think is going to get the attention of people? You think he says, America stands firm. America holds its own. America stands by. No. No. It makes absolutely no sense. So let me just tell you something. I want you to listen very carefully. I want you to pay attention to this. And this is something which is very difficult for people to do. I am not, in any wise, I am not some Trump phoebe, somebody who just loves everything he does. I want to say hello to Bailey. Bailey, bless your heart, Bailey. Raul Rodriguez says, whom or who will stall manufacturing in the U.S.? Who will stall it? Our course of action, if we don't do something, that will stall it. Christian Janis says, China has over 1,000 dark factories, fully automated, lights out manufacturing facilities. You don't know. Do you remember what was the name of that Deep Seek, or what the hell was it? Remember with the AI? AI is going to change. Yeah, Deep Seek. I haven't even thrown that one into the mix yet. I haven't even put that even remotely near this mix. I haven't gotten near it. Okay? But let me explain something to you. If we have one of two choices. We can do the Ackman way. Take our time, ease into this, and tell the people, yep, he blinked. He goes crazy. If Trump hears, the Wall Streeters complain about something. No, listen, that's not good if it's truly a stupid idea, but it's not. So what the Ackmans in the group have been doing is they've been so much credit. Believe me, he's got a PR person. I'll bet he's got people who are, he's become the pundit. They love him. He's going to have his own TV show. You watch his own Ackman. They're talking about everything from, it's just, all right. And it's very heady. Being an opinionator, being somebody who expresses himself. I understand that. I dig it. But here is the bottom line. President Trump is not going to bat an eye. I'm going to finish by telling you this. They are never going to give this man a break. They are never, ever going to congratulate him at all for anything that he does. They are never going to do anything in any way that in any form or style whatsoever provides any kind of an attaboy. Never. Never. So keep that in mind. So everything you read today, remember, they're never going to tell you, even if he does or doesn't, they will never tell you the truth, because the money for them isn't to destroy this person. They hate him. So Christian Janis and Raul Rodriguez and Bailey and Dick Dickerson and Cole, thank you for this. Make sure you stay subscribed. I've got videos later on Russell Brand, on the Obamas, on Michelle Obamas, on the latest with Virginia Giuffre. I got more stuff coming up than you will never be able to, you couldn't imagine it. So listen carefully. Pay a close attention to what's going on. And I thank you for being here. Keep the faith, my friends. Keep the faith. Don't lose track. If President Trump is wrong, I'll tell you. But let's see what happens. Now watch China. Watch what they do. Because that's the party. We're not going to go to war with them. It's ridiculous. Trade, maybe. And Europe is saying, please we're going to do more to bring Europe to their knees. Remember, Europe is NATO. I don't have to go through that again. Europe, I don't even know where they're going. Europe, this totalitarian dystopian regime of truncated rights. And I've said enough. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Make sure you see this great interview that I did with her. Subscribe to Lionel Nation and Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. And until we meet again, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.